All right, it's time to make the log cabin raised bed. So if you watched the planning videos that I have done, this is going to be the location of the raised bed here. So we're going to take some measurements from this far post here all the way back to the first post. I'm going to take these braces off. They're not needed. They've just been kind of in here since the big windstorm in the spring. And we're going to build a log cabin raised bed. So it's going to be made completely out of pine trees. And hopefully I have enough to make it here. I'd like to just get a 12-inch deep or somewhere around there, whatever the trees work out to be. It's not going to be perfect. It doesn't have to have, no gaps and all sealed up perfectly and all that kind of good stuff. So first thing I'm going to do is just get some measurements in here and knock these braces off. So we'll see what kind of, how many trees we're going to need and what size. So it looks like we have 24 feet of length here, total length, and then I want to go about 4 feet wide. So all the trees that we need to cut need to have at least a straight section 24 feet long, and hopefully, similar diameter, so it'll at least be kind of straight. If I have to patch two 12-foot pieces together or whatever, two 12 or 13-foot pieces together, that's fine. I'd also like the trees the logs to kind of overlap at the end, so we get kind of a crisscross. So I can do kind of a saddle connection between the end pieces and then the long horizontal pieces. So I'm going to gather some things together, throw it in the truck, and get out in the woods and see if I have enough trees that long and that big to even make this this project work. Heck, did I leave the gas cans? Found them. Homestead tip: always put your stuff back in the right place when you're done using it, like I didn't. So we'll head back to the logging trail here. We have, for those of you guys who are maybe new to the channel, we have 25 acres here. Most of it is hayfield that we're driving through right now, but some of it off to the side here is forest. Now one of the things that we didn't really pay too much attention to was kind of the age of this forest. It's a very young forest, and so most of the taller trees, these ones here and most of the others in the forest, are kind of fast-growing trees, silver maples and cottonwoods and other things. But there's this stand of pine trees here that the previous owner planted. He had a Christmas tree farm somewhere on this property, or maybe right here, and a lot of these are remnants of that, just kind of leftover patches of old Christmas trees. And let's take a look at these. I think I've got enough in here to thin out and grab enough wood for what we need. So this one we cut out. This was our Christmas tree. We cut this down and cut the top off of it here, and that was our Christmas tree this year. But these aren't very straight, are they? That one right there, I don't know. I mean, this first section of it might work pretty good. Up to right in here somewhere, it looks like it starts to bend. So we'll see. Maybe we'll have to do the sides in two sections. Maybe grab a 12-foot section off of here. Some of these trees here have has split into two trunks. I don't mind chopping one of those trunks off if we need to. Some of these ones here, that's a little bigger than I'd like. A little harder to work with. This one's a pretty healthy tree too. We don't want to go through and just cut all the trees down. We want these to grow, but these are way too close together to be healthy. You can see most of the needles are dead off these bottom branches because of how close they are together. I think we can thin these ones out. Maybe take one in the middle out. A few others in here. Just want to selectively kind of cut these out and leave a gap in between. So. Man, these ones are all kinds of crooked. I don't know if I want any of those. I think these are the ones I want right here. That one's nice. That one's pretty straight. That's a pretty big log. I think maybe we'll cut some of these bigger ones out. I'll cut that one out. I think I've at least found about 4 trees that I can cut out of here. And they look like most of them might get us 25 feet out of some of them. We'll see. I may end up going, just 12 feet sections and see how that works. It'll be a little more cutting, a little more joining the logs together, but I think that'll allow me to get straighter logs instead of trying to get a real long one that's might be crooked, have a bunch of gaps in it. So, all right, let's get the saw out and get cutting. Even if they're almost full, I always fill up before we get started here. I need to get one of those easy spouts on this gas can. I hate these gas cans. I might buy one of those today. I'll put a link in the description to those if you haven't seen those easy spouts. They replace the stupid safety ones that go on the gas cans, so a lot easier to use. Chain looks pretty good, should be sharp from last time I used it, so we'll run it through and see how it goes. Well, it's so intertwined with the other trunk. Those two grew up together, so I actually cut it. It won't come out of there. It's all woven together. So I'm gonna pull it out with the truck. The biggest risk here is when I yank that thing out from the bottom, it pops off the stump that it's on, falls on the ground, and then the whole tree falls on my truck. That could happen. It's not that heavy of a tree though, so I'm not worried about it. Could be entertaining though, we'll see. Perfect. Well, I don't want to cut down the trees on the other side of it to let it fall, because those are black walnut trees. I want to let those grow. So, it looks like we'll hook the truck up to it and yank the bottom out again. Hope I have enough tow strap. We'll figure it out. All right, well, we have about 6 trees down here, and I think this is going to be plenty, probably too many, but that's all right. I've got an idea for any extras that we have. So now I've got to clean up and limb all these. I've got 2 of them all limbed up and cut to length, and I've just got to get all these limbs out of here and throw them in the woods. Well, I better stop yapping. I've got 4 more of these to take care of here. Well, it just wouldn't be right if I didn't take some of this fresh greens up to the goats. Well, there we go. Everything's all limbed up. And some of these are going to work pretty good for the raised bed. They're nice and straight. You know, this one here especially is nice and straight. That one there, you can see it's got a kind of a bow in it. All we got left to do is pull these out of the woods, and then I'm going to get the tractor out here, and we'll fork these and take them up there in as big of a section as I can. I'd like to just pull them up there, you know, all in one piece. So you can see, you know, most all of the branches are dead. And that's just confirmation, you know, as to that these trees were just too close together. Pine trees do not do well close together. Now, it does help them to grow taller and straighter, but all the bottom branches will die off, and then you just get the, you know, the tops that will have any green needles on them. Now, that's pretty normal for some pine trees, but you can see the ones, you know, just like down here at the end. You know, this has nice green needles all the way up. That tree is photosynthesizing a lot better and is able to grow a lot thicker and fuller and faster and healthier. So you can see, I mean, the trunk on that tree is way bigger than any of these ones that were in here tight. So I'm always extremely careful when I cut a tree down. You know, I do not like cutting trees down on our property. Like I said earlier, this is a really young forest. There's not a lot of really great big trees. I want this forest to grow and you know, sustain itself, and you know, I'll selectively cut out a tree here and there, but you know, these trees have been growing for, you know, maybe 20 years, 25 years, and it's a big deal when you cut a tree down. You can't just put it back. You know, it takes a lot of time. So I'm always very selective about any trees I'm going to cut down. I've been wanting to thin this area out ever since we moved in here. You know, it's too crowded, and you know, these were planted, like I said, as Christmas trees, and so they were planted real close together. They don't need to be that close, and so I think this won't really affect the forest. This will fill in real nicely, and but it's always something I think 2, 3, 4 times before I cut a tree down, because I hate to make a mistake and, you know, cut a tree down, you can't replace it. So but these are going to go to a good purpose, and I can't wait to get these in the greenhouse and set up into the log cabin raised bed. So I'm going to get to work on that tomorrow. I will get these logs pulled up to the house, get them cut into sections, pulled into the greenhouse somehow. I'm not sure how I'm going to do that yet because they're pretty heavy, and then start to notch these together into a box. So stick around for that. There'll be videos coming out as fast as I can make them here, time permitting. I'm going to try to stick to the minimum of 3 per week, but I may even get up to 4 or 5 per week here as these projects get rolling in January. So stay tuned for lots of videos. Hit thumbs up as always, guys. Subscribe if you're not already subscribed. Why are you not subscribed? hit the subscribe button, follow along. As always, guys, thanks for watching. Have a good one.